boys and girls. Good morning or good afternoon, whatever time it is that you're watching this. Right now it's actually Sunday evening, but I'm recording this so that you can have it Monday morning bright and early. And we're going to go ahead and do our read aloud since it is Monday. So we stopped last week on Wednesday. It was actually last e-learning day that we had. The last time we read was an e-learning day, excuse me. And they were all out on the beach, right? And they looked out and they saw what? Sharks, right? They saw sharks, and the sharks started attacking the peach right at the end of the chapter. And they were telling James, you have to think of something. Think. And so their eyes were waiting upon James, is what the last sentence said. So we're going to keep reading there, and this is chapter 20. There is something that I believe we might try, James, Henry Trotter said slowly. I'm not saying it'll work, but tell us, cried the earthworm. Tell us quick. We'll try anything you say, said the centipede, but hurry. Be quiet and let the boy speak, said the ladybug. Go on, James. They all moved a little closer to him. There was a longish pause. Go on, they cried frantically. Go on. And all the time, while they were waiting, they could hear the sharks threshing around in the water below them. It was enough to make anyone frantic. Come on, James, the ladybug said, coaxing him. I'm afraid it's not good after all, James murmured, shaking his head. I'm terribly sorry. I forgot. We don't have any string. We need hundreds of yards of string to make this work. What sort of string? Asked the old green grasshopper sharply. Any sort, said James, just so as long as it's very, very strong. But, my dear boy, that's exactly what we do have. We've got all you want. How? Where? Asked James. All right, I want you to stop and think. Make a prediction. Where is all of this string, this strong string, coming from? Think. All right. The silkworm, cried the old green grasshopper. Didn't you ever notice the silkworm? She's still downstairs. She never moves. She just lies there sleeping all day long. But we can easily wake her up and make her spin. And what about me, may I ask, said Miss Spider. I can spin just as well as any silkworm. What's more is I can spin patterns. Can you make enough between you? Asked James. Oh, yes, as much as you want. All right, and there's a picture here. Let me get it straight on there. So that's the silkworm that's still down inside of the peach. And quickly, James asked. Oh, of course. And would it be strong? James asked. The strongest there is, as thick as your finger. But why? What are you going to do? Asked the spider. I'm going to lift this peach clear out of the water, James announced firmly. Oh, you're mad, cried the earthworm. Okay, do you think that the earthworm really means he's mad, like he's angry? No, that's not what he's saying. What is that phrase? What else could that phrase mean other than you are mad or you're angry? If he's saying you're mad, what's he saying? Hopefully you're thinking like crazy, right? He's like, you're crazy, James. How are you going to lift this giant peach out of the water with string? Like, you're just crazy. You're thinking crazy. You're mad, okay? It's our only chance, said James. The boy's crazy. He's joking. Go on, James, said the ladybug gently. How are you going to do it? Please tell us. Skyhooks, I suppose, jeered the centipede. Jeer is one of our spelling words this week. Remember, jeer is like a mean joke. Okay, something that's not very kind. Seagulls, answered James calmly. The place is full of them. Look up there. They all looked up and they saw a great mass of seagulls wheeling around and around in the sky. I'm going to take a long silk string, James went on, and I'm going to loop one end of it around a seagull's neck, and then I'm going to tie the other end to the stem of the peach. He pointed to the peach stem, which was standing up like a short, thick mast in the middle of the deck. Then I'm going to get another seagull to do the same thing again, and then another, and then another. Ridiculous! They shouted. Absurd! Poppycock! Balderdash! Madness! And the old green grasshopper said, how can a few seagulls lift an enormous thing like this up in the air, and all of us as well? It would take hundreds or thousands. There's no shortage of seagulls, James answered. Look for yourself. We'll probably need 400, 500, 600, maybe even 1,000. I don't know. I shall simply go on hooking them up the stem until we have enough to lift us up. They'll be bound to lift us up in the end. It's like balloons. You give someone enough balloons to hold, really enough, and then up he goes. And a seagull has far more lifting power than a balloon. If only we have the time to do it. If only we are not sunk first by those awful sharks, said James. You're absolutely off your head, said the earthworm. How on earth do you propose to get a loop of string around a seagull's neck? I suppose you're going to fly up there and catch it? The boy's dotty, said the centipede. No, let him finish, said the ladybug. Go on, James. How would you do it? With bait, said James. Bait? What sort of bait? With a worm, of course, James said. Seagulls love worms. Didn't you know that? And luckily for us, we have here the biggest, the fattest, the pinkest, the juiciest earthworm in the whole world. You can just stop right there, the earthworm said sharply. That's quite enough. Why is the earthworm getting a little upset right now? Yeah, because he's the bait, right? He's like, I don't think so. You're not going to let those seagulls eat me. Go on, the other said, beginning to grow interested. Go on. The seagulls have already spotted him, James continued. That's why there are so many of them circling around us. But they don't dare come down here while the rest of us are standing here. So this is what... Stop! Cried the earthworm. Stop, stop, stop. I won't have it. I refuse. I. Be quiet, said the centipede, and mind your own business. Uh-oh. I like that. My dear earthworm, you're going to be eaten anyway, so what difference does it make whether it's sharks or seagulls? I won't do it, said the earthworm. Why don't we hear what the plan is first, said the old green grasshopper. I don't give a hoot what the plan is first, said the earthworm. I am not going to be pecked to death by a bunch of seagulls. You'll be a martyr, said the centipede. I shall respect you for the rest of my life. So will I, said Miss Spider, and your name will be all in the newspapers. Earthworm gives life to friends. But he won't have to give his life, James told them. Now, listen to me. This is what we'll do. And that's the end of chapter 20. can just hear you all now saying, oh, cliffhanger. All right, we'll continue on with chapter 21 on Wednesday. Hope you guys have a great day.